Hi Virgo, Virgo Rising and Virgo Moon. This is your August 2016 forecast. The Sun has been in Leo since the 22nd of July in your 12th house and will remain there until the 23rd of August. The Sun is typically in the 12th house the month before our birthday, and as such it shows a review of how we've been doing things in the past and how we'd like to do things differently. So we're considering what we want to keep in our life, what we want to let go of. We're looking at types of behavior and compulsions that no longer serve us. So although your life may not be any less busy necessarily, you will on some personal level be taking a time out, or at least it would be advisable to do so. The 12th house can show unconscious conditioning, things that come to the root of our behavior and why we do what we do. And as such, this can be a very transformative house. So if you take the time to reassess and review, it will serve you very well for when the Sun goes into your first house in your birthday month. Mercury will be moving into Virgo, and as this rules, it's the ruling planet of Virgo, things will actually be kind of busy for you insofar as getting your voice out into the world, and you'll be operating very efficiently and effectively in your daily tasks in terms of how you project into the world. So there's this combination of inward emotional review and perhaps releasing and just reassessing your goals and plans and for your birthday month, so for your solar return, and actually finding your voice, articulating yourself, being industrious and busy, and getting things done quite effectively. Let's look at where the new moon and the full moon are in your chart this month. The new moon will be in your 12th house in Leo as well, again drawing attention to 12th house concerns. So emotionally you'll be feeling somewhat reclusive, or you'll be keeping your feelings to yourself. You'll find that you're not necessarily sure about how you feel about certain things, or because you're not expressing your feelings, you may find that you will have to, otherwise those feelings will just get suppressed more and more. And this of course can affect your health, and it can affect your partnerships. So find a voice for those feelings, and if you need to express concerns to a significant other, then start doing so carefully. So get in touch with those emotions, and if you're having dreams and insights around what's troubling you, then tune in. You'll be feeling quite intuitive at this time. The Sun and the Moon both trine Saturn in the 4th house. This shows, because Saturn will stay in your 4th house for some time, actually, typically Saturn's in a sign for 2.5 years. So in your 4th house, Saturn will have to do with reorganizing home affairs, family matters, so how you organize your home. Perhaps you would want to invest in a home, but typically you'll be restructuring your home and your relationship with family, and considering identity issues, who you are, where your roots are, what makes you feel grounded and what makes you feel secure. So with the Sun and the Moon trining Saturn in your 4th house with the new moon, you'll be very much considering what to let go of to make your home life more comfortable, more organized, more stable. And like I said, you'll be looking at emotional roots and what makes you feel emotionally secure. So use this time wisely to let go of influences that no longer serve you. It could even be as literal as things in your home that no longer have a place, or patterns in your home life that don't serve you. So this will give you insight into those things. What can you do to make your personal domain more secure and supportive? The full moon will be in your 6th house, which is the house of work and illness typically. It can also be the house of pets. So the new moon brings the focus to health and service. Virgo is traditionally considered a service sign. It's the sign of selfless service. So Virgos are typically very efficient and organized and very able. But of course what often happens is there's too much service going on and your own needs aren't being met. Or you're working too hard and your health is suffering as a result, often with digestive complaints, but also with other health problems. So what also has to come under review at this time is, what about your work life needs to change? You may be thinking of getting a new job, or you'll realize that, you're going to have to change the way that you behave in your work environment in terms of how many hours you put in, how much nervous tension you're prepared to take on, and really essentially how much you're prepared to suffer for your job. It's not, of course, a bad thing. It's just a way of a consideration of how to use your resources more efficiently. So looking at health, looking at work habits, looking at interactions with work colleagues. So this could even be a good time for a change of health habits. You may want to consider a new diet or exercise regime. Make sure it's something realistic. So if you choose to change your diet or perhaps start an exercise routine, consider it carefully and see what's feasible. What can you maintain? What can you include into your current lifestyle comfortably? So make slow, steady changes to improve your health and work circumstances. So just to review quickly, the focus this month is on 12th and 6th house matters. So a review of what you want to let go of in your life, a review of your work and health habits, and just resetting the stage for your birthday month, which is the start of your solar return or your personal new year. So from the 1st of August, Venus trines Uranus from the 12th to the 8th house. This can show sudden changes in finances. It could be that you're overspending or overinvesting. You may also be letting go of something that you value. You may find that your financial obligations and joint responsibilities are a bit frustrating at this time. Nonetheless, you may find also that you consider obligations that you can now let go of. So perhaps there are some joint resources in terms of property or investments that you want to let go of. And if this is the case, consider what you can do to stabilize your financial situation and affairs. The Sun also trines Saturn at the same time, so it does show you getting your house in order. What do you want to keep? What do you want to let go of? And mostly it's going to be what you want to let go of. And some diligent thought and effort around those matters will really pay off for you, because this is a very practical aspect. On the 2nd of August is the new moon in Leo in your 12th house, which we've already discussed. This will show discipline and reorganization at the home and family affairs. So you may be restructuring your interaction with family members, restructuring your home, and just basically looking at ways to make your home life more supportive. You may find that you get some assistance from older people or respected individuals in your undertakings. On the 4th of August, Mars moves into Sagittarius in your 4th house. In the 4th house, Mars is quite strong, and again, it wants to push out in the domestic terrain. This is home life and domestic affairs. Mars can often be a little bit disruptive in the 4th house, in the sense that you want to change things around and you want to renovate, redecorate, and basically make things as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible. But just bear in mind that Mars is moving to conjunct Saturn at the end of the month, so there will be frustration and delays in these matters. Mars can also show conflict with family members, possibly your mother, and as such you want to avoid any flare-ups and carefully consider whether you want to air harsh words. So just use this time to consolidate what you really want to do in terms of your personal domain and what will improve your domestic situation. So use this tension and friction for a change of scene. Carefully think what you can realistically do in your home environment that will make things better for you, and how you can smooth over rough interactions with family members. Between the 5th and the 7th of August, Mercury will square Saturn from the 1st to the 4th. This can be a gloomy and pessimistic aspect, but it's very good for concentration and focus. So if there's a project that needs careful attention to detail and requires a lot of detailed work, then use this aspect to focus on those matters. It will also be very useful for getting your affairs in order because you'll be very diligent at this time. So you'll be looking at all the areas involved and applying yourself very conscientiously. On the 6th of August, Venus squares Mars from the 1st to the 4th house. This aspect can also show up as either conflict with family members, or perhaps your mother more specifically, but also as an urge to redecorate. So see if there's something that you want to do to beautify your home and use this tension accordingly. So what can you do to bring more beauty and aesthetics into your personal domain? This aspect will be very productive for that. On the 7th of August, Mercury opposes Neptune from your 1st to your 7th house. This can be a frustrating aspect in terms of miscommunication. You know, logic takes a hit and you may feel that your partner or some significant other doesn't understand you, or perhaps they're not expressing themselves very well. They may even be deliberately deceiving you. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It can be somebody that you consult with, such as a lawyer or a psychologist or a doctor, not deliberately, but you may not understand what they're trying to communicate to you, or you may not agree with it, and the result is mental confusion. So wait for the air to clear, which it does with this next aspect. On the 10th of August, Mercury trines Pluto from the 1st to the 5th house. This is a wonderful aspect for getting your ideas into the world. You'll feel very strongly about a creative project, and you'll have a lot of ideas in terms of how to implement it and get it off the ground. It can also show itself as intense communications, especially with loved ones, a romantic partner, or even with children. So this aspect can be very good for purposeful communication. So if you want to take your interaction to the next level, use this aspect for it. And if you want to get a creative venture off the ground and you have many ideas about how to do so, this is the aspect for that. You'll really have the momentum. Between the 12th and the 14th of August, Venus squares Saturn from the 12th to the 4th house. This can also be an aspect where you feel that perhaps a family member or someone that you lean on for support or consider family is withholding love, affection, or even finances. So they may not be coming to your assistance in the way that you'd like. Alternatively, you could yourself just be feeling gloomy and pessimistic, either about home affairs or family, or just, how your personal life is going. But use this aspect to reflect on it on your own. And, you don't have to take that bad mood out into the world. On the 14th of August, Venus opposes Neptune, and this is from the 1st to the 7th house. So this can also show up as being misunderstood by a partner, but more typically feeling unappreciated by a significant other. This could be a friend, a business partner, or a marriage or a spouse. So if you're feeling unappreciated, perhaps step back and consider what you need to do, what you're doing too much of, and how you can change your interaction and perhaps not give so much. It could also be that a partner feels this way about you, that they're doing all the sacrificing and you're not appreciating their efforts. This can also just be a harmless aspect where you're feeling just disenchanted about love and partnerships, and this you can definitely channel by watching a romantic movie or reading a book with a similar theme. On the 16th of August, the Sun will trine Uranus from the 12th to the 8th houses. This can give some insights into your financial affairs, joint resources, possibly property that you own with somebody else. So again, insights in terms of how you structure joint resources. It could be something literal, like you could come into a bit of money too, or perhaps you received shrewd financial advice in terms of how to make your investments more lucrative. So consider what you can change in your financial affairs, and because you'll have some insights about how to handle them. On the 17th of August, Venus trines Pluto from the 1st to the 5th house. This is a great aspect for creativity and artistic expression. You'll be feeling very sensitive and have a very attuned artistic sense of creative projects that you're involved with. It can also show up as very sensitive romantic communication. It's a very good aspect for deepening your relationships because you'll feel a strong sense of closeness and intimacy. So this could be with a child, or it could actually be with a project. You could have artistic inspiration around a creative project that you want to get off the ground. So use this aspect for that extra push in creative projects and in refining your relationships with romantic partners or children. On the 18th of August, the full moon will be in your 6th house. There are aspects between the moon and the sun and Uranus in your 8th house. As I said before, the 6th house is the house of health and work. So this can show an emphasis on health, which is quite typical, especially in the month leading up to your birthday. You know, often one thinks of ways that you need to change your routines, especially diets and fitness. So you set out diets and fitness goals for yourself, or you consider ways to get healthier. So this will bring focus onto those areas. On the 22nd of August, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in your 1st house. The 1st house is very strong, and of course your ruling planet Mercury is very happy in the 1st. It's very busy and talkative, industrious and efficient. And combined with Jupiter, this gives you a very broad view of topics. So you'll have a very comprehensive understanding of things, and you know, your communication will definitely go to the next level. It's a very good aspect for selling yourself, for persuading people of something, and also for negotiations. And so as a result, it's very good for business deals and getting projects off the ground or signing contracts. So a very fortuitous aspect for you. On the 23rd of August, the Sun will go into Virgo in your 1st house. So this is, of course, your birthday month coming up. The Sun in the 1st is very much about how you project into the world, how others perceive you. The spotlight's really on you. So hopefully you've used the 12th house parts of the month to reassess and review and decide how you want to put your best foot forward in terms of how you interact with other people, how you show up in the world. You know, how do you communicate your ideas, how do you present yourself, and what activities do you want to get involved with. But more on that next month. On the 24th of August, Mars conjuncts Saturn in your 4th house. So Mars has still been moving through its shadow period after its long retrograde. So although it's direct, it's been moving forward through the period, still through the zone that it retrograded in. So because it's been moving to conjunct Saturn, which always represents limitations, constrictions, you know, like setbacks and delays, and, you know, having to attend to onerous duties and responsibilities. In the 4th house, this will show up as frustration in family matters, frustration in the home, frustration in getting personal projects off the ground. So there'll have been a bit of a splatter effect, and you won't have felt like you could actively push forward. Of course, when this conjunction separates and Mars moves away from Saturn, this will free up considerably. On the 26th of August, Mars will square Neptune from your 4th to your 7th house. This aspect can show direct misrepresentation. You know, a partner could be deceiving you. This could be a business partner or a romantic partner or someone that you consult with, or you will feel like they've, you know, deliberately misrepresented themselves. So you could find this type of conflict arising with a family member alternatively. So, or just that you're having an interaction with a shady type, generally speaking. If so, then just step away. On the 27th of August, Venus will conjunct Jupiter in your 1st house. This is a lovely, strong placement for this very beneficial conjunction. Venus and Jupiter are the greater benefics, and when they come together, you'll really be feeling in a fantastic mood. This is a great aspect to celebrate, so if you want to throw a party or entertain or go to a party, then this is a fantastic time to do so. This aspect will last from about the 26th to the 29th of August, so use this good mood to launch projects and, you know, to further your own interests. And like I said, on a more mundane level, use it to have a good time because you'll be feeling very good. And in your first house, people will be responding to that because it'll be coming from you. So use this good mood for a party or use it for a personal project that you want to get off the ground. It's quite a fortunate conjunction. On the 29th of August, Mercury conjuncts Venus, also in your first house, which is a very powerful placement. When these two planets come together, it really heightens love communication, easy communication. So again, another good aspect for persuasiveness, negotiation. You can speak quite lightheartedly about various topics and, you know, really sell your ideas. So a good aspect for any kind of communication, whether it's words of love that you want to express, you'll find you're able to be eloquent and sentimental at the same time, or whether it's for negotiation, you know, you'll find that you can put a soft touch on your communication and really sell those ideas. You'll have a lot of time to go over first house Mercury affairs, of course, when Mercury goes retrograde for most of September. But this does keep Mercury in your own sign of Virgo, so this in itself is not a bad thing. So more on that later, or next month rather. Thanks for tuning in.